Hi, and welcome to Theme Honey Lessons. In the first lesson that we're going to go through today, I'm going to quickly show you how to install themes in WordPress. And really, what we're doing is we're installing the Genesis framework and a child theme. So I'm going to log into my website, and once we're logged in, no thank you. If this is the first time you're logging into your website, you may be asked if you want to do a wizard. I just declined. This is the back end, the dashboard of WordPress, and we're going to go to Appearance and Themes. Now, if you just installed WordPress, by default, as of this recording, the default theme that gets installed is called 2017. So that's the first theme that we see here on the front end, and that includes a little bit of content and some images. And what we want to do is we want to install the Genesis framework and a Genesis child theme. And the framework, like I said, is really just a theme. So we're going to add new. And when I click Add New, it actually brings me to a repository of free WordPress themes. These are themes that WordPress.org has vetted and put in their repository, and they are freely available. But of course, we want the Genesis framework, and I've saved a copy of the Genesis framework on my desktop, and I'm using Genesis version 2.4.2. So let's upload our theme. Choose my file, go to my desktop, and choose Genesis 2.4.2. Genesis sample. This is a sample child theme. We want to do the framework first. Open and install now. And I can take a live preview, I can activate, or I can return to the themes page, and that's what I want to do, return to the themes page. So I have not activated Genesis. Now I'm going to add new again, and again I'm back in this WordPress free theme repository, but I want to upload, choose file, and now I'm going to choose the Genesis sample, which is the child theme, and I'm going to install now. Now I want to return to the themes page. So 2017 is still active. I haven't activated any of these other themes, but I am going to activate the Genesis sample. Activate. And it automatically brings me back to the Genesis theme settings page. So it takes me away from appearance and themes, and it brings me to a theme settings page. Now, if you're installing an older version of Genesis, just as I have, that is absolutely no problem. As you can see here, it's saying Genesis 2.5.0 is available, and it's prompting me to go ahead and update. So I'm going to click Update, and I'm going to click OK. Now, I'm not updating the child theme. What I'm actually doing is updating the Genesis framework. So let's go back to Appearance and Themes. And this is what I updated. Genesis 2.5.0. My Genesis sample, which is the child theme, has been activated. And that's the theme that we see now if we click Refresh. This is the child theme, and it's really just a big blank slate. There's not much here. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to urge you to remove the themes that you're not using. Why do we do this? Well, if you don't keep these themes updated, they can leave your website vulnerable. Anytime you have out-of-date software on your website, you are at risk to be vulnerable by bad guys, hackers, bugs, you name it. I prefer to only keep the themes that I want on my site installed. Now, you can't accidentally delete Genesis if you have a Genesis child theme enabled, just as I cannot accidentally delete now the Genesis sample theme. There's no way for me to delete these. In order to delete these, I would have to, well, for example, activate the Genesis framework. And right here, if you activate the Genesis framework by mistake, you'll get a message. Please activate a Genesis child theme. We've noticed you're using the framework parent theme alone, and you don't want to do that. So let's go back and activate the sample theme, the child theme, and now we're all good. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email, angela@themehoney.com, and stay tuned for more tutorials.